Hello, everybody. This is episode 4, and my name is Danny, and I'm here with Deanna. How are you doing today, Deanna?
I'm doing very well, Danny. Thank you. Hello, everybody. This
Mhm.
is our session where, we have decided to do a checkpoint. So Danny was a great idea, I think. His idea.
So, yeah, basically, we're just going to discuss why we started this podcast, what it's about, how we think it can help people, and then besides that, we're just going to see where the conversation goes. Yeah.
Right?
So, I guess. I would say first and foremost, the concept is to give some insight in the process of mental health and well-being and how it's not just this easy, clear path. A lot of it has to do with small wins, and that ties into the name of the podcast, Glimmers of the Path, because in my experience, and I think Deanna agrees, um, you got to pay attention to those small wins and then see how that's building up the path for better health. So I guess you would agree with that, or is that what you see in people, the people that everybody's different, obviously, but do you see that in people that are making progress? Because you work with clients, for anybody that doesn't know Deanna, well, you work with clients in a few different ways, but I'm thinking Gestalt coaching in particular. Do you find that you see that in clients, or are some clients just like they decide and then they just go and they're like on the path to success and everything's fine? Or is it more common that people have to make these small impacts?
Right. Yeah, this is what I have seen in my practice with my clients, and it's something that I have seen with myself also in my own path. Mm, Small wins and small progresses are extremely important. What I do see in my practice of Gestalt therapy and coaching is that there is a difficulty in recognizing those
Yeah.
little progresses. So in my practice, my one of my the aspects of my work is to acknowledge that and bring them forward for you to see them,
Hmm.
for my client to see it. Um, and those little progresses in time, they are the ones that are going to create the sustainable change, you know?
Definitely. Yeah.
So it's not a change that is from the mind, okay, I want to make this change and I will make this change. This big change, it might last for for maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, and then it most likely will return back.
Yeah.
But what I have noticed, and then what Gestalt practice is based on, is that recognizing these little progresses in relationship with your environment. How is it for you? How is it impacting your environment, your relationships? Then you start to notice that it is a practice, right? Like it's a practice that and every day is like doing exercise as you are doing now, Danny, experimenting with exercising every single day
Yeah.
after you wake up, like you get up, right?
Hmm.
So that is what actually um, creates a change. In Gestalt, there was a big teacher that I follow, James Kepner, and he was saying in one of his books that one thing is awareness. I am aware that I am, yesterday I ate really well, right? It was very good what I chose to eat, as an example. But then he says it doesn't end there. To create real change and to allow a new connection in your brain,
Yeah.
then of a habit, creating a new habit means to practice. So practice, it means that the next day you do it, the following day, and you are persistent with that little change. And don't leave yourself alone. It just keep going and keep doing it and recognizing it, right? Because I think one of the big ones for me was not recognizing those little
Yeah,
progress. And then when the one day when I was like, oh wow, how impactful those little progresses are. Mhm.
right.
Yeah. So how is it for you in your experience?
I think, yeah, that resonates with me. And I guess a couple of things that come to my mind is one, well, Deanna is my Gestalt coach, so I see Deanna regularly. And you point out some of the small wins that I don't see. And I think when you don't see the small wins yourself, you run the risk of like kind of burning out because you don't have a sense of progress. So just recognizing the progress, I think, is important. It's almost like fuel for the progress. And it's just so easy if you have like a busy life, like a lot of people do, or I don't know, even if your life isn't necessarily busy, if you don't track your progress, it's easy to forget about it. And then if you forget about it, you feel like you're not making any progress and you give up. So I think just recognizing that and maybe I want to say maybe celebrating it. I mean, to some extent, or at least acknowledging it.
Yeah,
Um,
I really love the word celebrating. Yes, celebrating that progress. How
yeah,
how would you do that? That's so
I think even if you
curious.
just recognize it, like but I want to, I think you need to like maybe track it somehow, or at least keep it in your mind. But if you ate well yesterday, say, you know what, I did good. I ate well yesterday. And even if you don't eat well today, still reinforce that you are trying because if you say you ate healthy yesterday and then you didn't eat healthy today, I think a lot of people will say, "Oh, like I ruined this. I can only go one day or I can't even do 2 days. I don't know. I can't do this. I don't know what I'm doing." But if instead you say, "You know what? I didn't do so well today, but yesterday I did well. That's progress." And it's not a straight line up. uh, recognizing that you're not just going to go better, better, better. You're going to have a good day, a bad day, two good days, one bad day, three bad days, whatever. So just keeping in mind that it's not just every day better, 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 but then also focusing on the good and not the bad. And like focusing on the good gives you the fuel to have more good days and it compounds.
That's
Um,
great, Danny. When you say um, focusing on the good, I think it just came to me that let's say, as the example I was saying, yesterday I ate well. And how did I feel the rest of the day when
right.
I think that is the fuel.
Yeah. It's like
Right?
reinforcement, I suppose.
It's like I
It,
felt really good. Like, how was my mind after I ate well? Because with you, and I really want to acknowledge the work that you have done and the finding the relationship between eating well and your mood and your the state of your mind, that is something that I want to always acknowledge the work that you have done, Danny, around that. How we have read it, right? We have read it everywhere. There is a
yeah.
connection between the brain, the first brain, the brain is the first brain, and then the stomach is the second brain. Neuroscience, um physiology, whatever you say, but then you had the experience of it. You experienced the impact of that in your life. So I think recognizing, oh, I felt grounded when I ate.
Yeah.
I felt with energy when I ate well. What do you think about that?
Yeah. I guess a couple things like uh for me that was like the foothold that like that gave me like it was like like it created like a crack, I suppose, that I could just kind of pry open and start entering into like
Yes.
better health, I suppose. So
Um,
maybe it's different for everybody. Like for you, movement was kind of that first like avenue to get in. So I think it's probably good to recognize that it could be different for different people. Like some people it could be sleep. Like maybe you're
yeah.
not getting enough sleep. Maybe you work until you don't close your laptop until 9 p.m. and then you try to sleep at 10 p.m. and you wonder why you can't
Wow.
sleep or you wonder why you're not feeling well. Maybe that's the first thing for you. But ultimately, all of these, we need all of these things to feel 100%. But yeah, for me, I had like like depression for pretty much all of my adult life. Probably, I think it's fair to say into my teens even. But I always approached it from the beginning as like, what's wrong with my mind? What's wrong with my brain? Why do I think like this? And it was all like trying to think my way out of the problem. And I knew you should eat healthy, but I wasn't taking that seriously because probably going back there, it's actually hard. I find hard to put my mind back in the place where I was because I feel so different now.
Yes.
But I
Yes.
think I just felt hopeless. So when you feel hopeless, and then I attributed it all to my mind, right? It's like,
Mm.
why would you try to eat healthy if you think your mind is going to be like that anyways? It's kind of hard. Again, it's hard to like put myself back there, but I kind of stumbled upon eating healthy. Like I didn't, I would have never guessed that it would have made such a change. But basically, it sounds so silly and simple, but I started preparing my lunches for work. And then I basically said, well, if I'm going to prepare my lunches, I might as well prepare healthy lunches. And I started doing that, and then it automated the process. So I always had healthy food, at least for my lunch, and that became automated. I didn't have to go make a salad or choose which fast food restaurant to eat from. It was just automatic. And then I noticed that I started to feel better.
That's incredible, Danny. And then one thing that I noticed there, two things. One is that structure is important for you.
For me, 100%, yeah.
In the sense that I had my lunches, prepared that you didn't have to go to find a fast food restaurant, right? But then the
Yeah.
structure of it, that is one thing that I see. And then the other thing is that looking at the past, it's a little bit hard. So with Gestalt is like having the possibility to look at the past with the lenses, with the lenses of compassion from the past,
Mm,
of what happened before, and which you grew from there, right? Thanks to the fact that you were there, right? So you were there, and then from there you have grown so much
yeah.
where you wanted to go, you know? So yeah.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah, I want to say I'm like grateful that I've been through it now, but it was definitely a struggle at the time. But it
Yeah.
wasn't only eating healthy, but that was just the thing that s- gave me a spark that pushed me, like it gave me that energy to move forward. Because
Yeah. Yeah.
if you have depression, like anybody that has it, or anybody that's just maybe not quite depression, but having a hard time,
Yeah, like
like
mood
getting that energy.
mood related
Yeah.
issues.
Like maybe you're going through a hard time or whatever, like a breakup or something. You don't have to have like a severe
Exactly.
issue to relate to this, but
Exactly.
just finding that one thing that it is for you that pushes you forward. So, and then I think it's important for people to realize that you may not find it. And the first thing you might say, I'm going to try to eat healthy. And it just doesn't, you don't get the
Just
traction. It doesn't work. So then maybe you exercise or maybe you do a wind down routine. Like it could be as simple as like, uh, reading some light reading before bed so that you sleep better and your
Mhm.
brain is in a better state instead
Right.
of looking at your phone and looking at the news right until you try to go to sleep. So,
Exactly, like making that difference is so important right now. Whatever you do before I go to bed, right? An hour before of going to bed is what is going to stay in the brain according to research on and healthy tips for a better sleep, right?
mhm.
And you are so right, differentiating between watching the news on the phone or actually reading something lightly
Yeah,
or watching something that is um, joyful, right?
right.
And then with that sensation, you can go into bed or sitting quietly before. But of course, the mind is what is important too, the state of the mind, right?
Yeah. Like maybe stretching. Stretching is a good thing, I think.
The stretching before and breathing right before. So I really like the fact that you are pointing to different people, different kinds of um of ways of doing things. Not everybody is going to go through, you know, changing their diet and digestion. But maybe some movement, maybe, and others the door to, as you were saying, the crack that for a better health, you found one, and maybe they can find another one through breathing, through yeah, sleep. Yeah,
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 like or maybe something we're not even talking about. Something just popped in my, I don't know, like walking
yeah.
in nature if you have nature near you. But like if someone's listening and say, "Well, I don't have nature near me." Try something. Like just keep trying different things. I think it's a good idea, but also give things a chance as well. But we all
That
know these
force,
things, right?
right? Like the force, as you were saying, it gave you the moment where you probably question, is this all like feeling low and no energy, probably the way you felt.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
was something that comes and says, is this all? And then as far as I was listening to you, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but it is the impulse to find something new, different.
Yeah, well, yeah, like I think I just stumbled upon it really like so I feel like it's worth saying that because it's not like I don't think I really said, okay, let me try eating healthy because that's gonna help my brain work. So, but because I was so lucky to stumble upon it, I feel like I want to tell other people they maybe they can do it in a more conscious way to just consciously try different things. But
Mhm.
yeah, that was a big point of progress for me. Like, well, for most of the time that I was had like a mood problem, whatever you want to call it, I thought it was a chemical imbalance, and not to say that some people don't have that. I'm sure people do. There's many reasons why you might have that, even like brain injury, or there's definitely real cases of people that, their chemistry isn't working correctly. But I assume that that was my case
Mhm.
and I was taking medications and I had side effects from the medication. A lot of times the side effects were worse than the thing I was trying to treat. So I didn't really actually have a whole lot of hope, I don't think, for eating healthy to help me with my mental state. So I've really just stumbled upon it. But yeah, hopefully people hearing this will at least want to try to give it a try or things like this a try.
Yeah, yeah. So, as we were saying before, as you mentioned at the beginning, the purpose of these talks are just inspiring or giving a spark of a seed or a spark of, you know, what can I do?
Right, yeah.
What is the place where I can go and feel better, have better health, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like when you look at social media or YouTube videos and stuff, the way people present the path or their path it just seems like they are special and they figured it out because they're this unique person. Like I feel like yeah, when you watch it, it's like, well, that's not, you look at it and say, that's not me. And I think part of that is when they try to tell the story, maybe it's just easier to tell the story in a simple way, but you don't normally hear people say, I tried this and I failed 1,000 times and I was down on myself most of the time, but I got these little positive impacts. And then after a while, I got momentum. Like you don't hear the nuance, I think, a lot of time. So I think that's why it's hard for people to emulate what they see on YouTube or Instagram or whatever, because the person is trying to just tell the story and they're thinking more about the story than the nuances. So then you just hear this magical story and you think, how the heck am I going to do that? That's not me. I don't work like that. But so I think what we're doing is shining some light on kind of the ugly aspects or the not so neat, like that's not I don't think for a lot of
It's
people
not
it is
so
as clean.
perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but it's still success. It's not perfect, but this is what success looks like for a lot of people.
Mhm. Yeah, and then it's a success, sustainable change, it's not something that it will come back to the original place.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
then get hearing other people's story, like hearing our stories, I think can be helpful. It's hard to do these things on your own. Yeah, and I guess I could bring up, yeah, this kind of becoming a theme, but I'm trying to do this morning routine. And
Mhm.
just to give insight in, like I'm so or we're so bold to like have a podcast, but like just to give you a glimpse that I'm not like executing these things perfectly, but I'm still getting success. So I'm doing the morning routine, but I wasn't quite doing it the way I expected. So I expected to just jump out of bed. So my morning routine was what I proposed. I think it was on the first episode, or was it the second episode?
This second episode. Mhm.
Okay, so I proposed, okay, I'm gonna get up each morning and I'm not gonna like just lay in bed. I'm gonna, spring out of bed and do some qigong exercise and meditating.
Ah,
And I gave like an accountability pledge basically. But so the first week I did it every day except for one, but I still like laid in bed and kind of laid there and didn't jump right out. So for that process, I caught myself at some point I was saying, "Oh, I'm not doing what I said I was going to do. Like I'm failing." And I started to focus on that, but then I said I switched it because if I kept going down that path, I would have just gave up, I think. So I switched it and I said, well, I am still doing the exercise and the qigong and the meditation every morning. So I am making some progress. So I made sure to reinforce the positive aspects and not just say I'm failing. Even though I was kind of failing, I didn't do exactly what I set out to do, but it was still some progress. So it's like it's not what I thought it was going to look like, but I'm trending in the right direction. So let me just focus on the positive. I am still exercising and meditating and just also still being lazy and not getting right out of bed. But there's progress happening. So I don't
Right.
know if people can relate to that. You know what I mean? That's an example, I think, of what we're talking about.
Yes, yes, I think that the ability to recognize, as we were talking at the beginning, recognize progress, right? And you are doing it. You are recognizing, you decided to shift and not to focus on the I what I you didn't do, and then you shifted into what I did. Mhm.
Yeah, I think that was quite helpful for me. Yeah.
Give it a bow, like it's okay. Well, yeah, I have this, and also I have this, and I didn't do what I intended to do or my plan and fully, and I did 50% or
Yeah.
70%, because I think the goal you actually did it. Mhm. You didn't do it right away, the very first piece, and then the main goal it was you accomplished what you wanted to do, you know, and recognizing that is the fuel, as you were saying. It cultivates that ability for me to recognize me when I am doing progress, you know. Mhm.
Yeah, and I guess being com self, we touched it a little bit on it, the self-compassion too. Like I think can only speak for myself, but I feel like this is valid for most people. If you are trying to make your life better in some way, it's so easy to just beat yourself up when it didn't work out the way you expect it. And I think that's like such a trap because it's just pulling you down. Like it's like a negative energy. It's just like how are you supposed to move forward when you're focusing on the negative, right? So any way to like tie into the positive, I
Yeah.
think is great to keep you
Yeah.
moving forward.
Exactly, right? The inner critic in us is very strong. It could be very strong for some of us, for others is less. And then being able to catch that and then shift, choose something different. And that's, I think, what you did. Mhm.
Yeah.
It is so important. Uh, mhm.
Yeah, and it does build over time. So I guess those people that have the kind of magical stories, I mean, maybe they're a rare case where they just change their life in one day. But I think part of it is when you do make success, you look back and it does seem kind of like magic. So especially like if you're having like bad mood issues or whatever you want to call it for extended periods of time, you feel completely hopeless. And then if you do make subtle progress, even if it takes years, could be 3 or 4 years later, um, when you look back, it does feel like magic because you're just like, how was I like that? And now I'm like this. It's like I don't even understand. So it is kind of a magical tale,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
when you're going through it, it's just like little piece by little piece.
yes. It's so, Danny, there is so much wisdom in what you decided to do with your exercise, for instance, just deciding the experiment. Yeah. And then you recognize that, oh, I didn't get up immediately and start exercising. So that piece is missing because it's part of your what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you got up, and then when you got up, you started doing your exercise. And
Hmm.
then you shifted your mind, your thoughts, your thinking about that also, right? Mhm. The
Yeah.
appreciation, the perception of that experiment, right? You changed that. You started, okay, I didn't do this. Oh, by the way, and I did the exercise. So that is there is so much wisdom in that process. Many people might see it very simple. Oh no, but you are working with different parts of you at the same time. So
Yeah.
I want to acknowledge that. Mhm. Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah.
One thing I think that helps me personally as well is accountability.
Mhm.
So even with the accountability, I didn't execute it quite properly, but like I think that's why I sustained like this part of the reason I sustained progress is that I said it to you, I said it on the podcast. So
Yes,
that's I feel
that's
like a piece of the puzzle for me. Maybe not everybody needs that, but if you feel like you can't hold yourself accountable, I suppose, and doing it for yourself just isn't enough to push you.
yeah.
Finding a
I-
friend that you can hold you accountable, like maybe say, listen, I'm gonna text you each day to say I I did my morning exercise. And maybe you'll feel guilty if you don't text them. Like that's a way to do it. You don't have to do things completely by yourself. If you're
Yeah,
fortunate enough to have someone that will help you, you know?
that's right. It's like not feeling alone in the process. I think is extremely important. Yeah, yeah. Yes, it's finding out. if in my case, for example, I really like work in pairs, in trios, like it's part of how I am. I discovered that as well.
Mm.
So if you feel that you need help as an accountability to make sure that you're going to do what you want to do, and you need support by a friend, or mm, there are different support levels,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, that is also knowing you how you are. Oh, I work better if my accountability will be with someone else than myself. Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's part
Yeah.
of it, knowing
And
yourself.
yeah, and I think part of the puzzle is just exploration and not giving up because that's the things that worked for me. Um, is could be different from for someone else, but just exploring and not giving up, and if one thing's not working, try something else.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. And then that is, for me, it feels like don't give up on yourself, you know,
Yeah.
just don't give up.
A lot of these things, it's like a system they tie into each other. Like you kind of have to not give up, but then
Mhm.
you have to be kind with yourself. I think that kind of ties in. Like if you're not kind with yourself, it can be hard to keep going if if every day you say like, why didn't I do this? It's
Mhm.
counterproductive.
Counterproductive. Yes. And then, kindness to me, there is a lot of, information about kindness, compassion to yourself, love to yourself. So for me, is the recognition that you did progress. That's
Right. Yeah.
having compassion with myself. Like in your case, oh, I did this, and recognize it and celebrating it. That's part of self-compassion and love to yourself. Hmm.
Right.
So yeah, so it's interesting how everything starts to, you know, be part of the same, like we are putting it all together, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, over time it comes together and I
Yeah.
guess hopefully hearing our stories can give people faith, especially if you're at the beginning. It's a lot easier to talk about it when you've made some progress, but when you've feel like you've made zero progress, it's hard to put yourself in the future, and think, oh, like I could feel better. But
Yes.
hopefully it helps people to hear what it's like to get progress.
Even the choice of doing something different, for example, oh, I'm going to try this experiment. That is already progress.
Yeah. A lot of these things too, I find first when you start, you don't want to do it like exercise or going for a walk, like you don't want to do it, but then once you do it, like after a while, you start to want to do it. Like for instance, I just thought in my head, like I want to go for a walk like after this.
Yeah.
Like probably like
Me
a
too.
couple of, oh, really?
Mhm.
It's a nice day. So
It's a nice school day. Mhm.
like maybe I've really been doing a lot of walking, probably just not even for like a year. Like I've always appreciated walking, but I haven't made it like a regular habit up until quite recently. So when I go to when I work from the office, I go for a walk every lunchtime. So what I'm getting at is like after a while, you start to anticipate it and want. So like when it comes close to lunchtime, I get kind of like excited, like, oh, I'm gonna go for a walk and it's gonna be enjoyable. Or right now, it just flashed in my head, oh, I'm gonna go for a walk and like hear some birds. So like, and I know it's gonna make me feel good.
Yes, you're already feeling good.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah, to think about, I just heard a bird right now, and I was like, when you were saying heard a bird, and the bird was, I just heard the bird, yeah,
Nice.
singing. So that's so nice. But and then Danny, I wanted to, you know, offer this exercise that we actually did it before, and with you. I did it before, and it was coming from you actually. And the exercise was to place your hand here in your chest.
Okay.
Now that we are talking about self-compassion,
Hmm.
recognizing progress, choosing something different, uh, not leaving yourself alone, and then not giving up, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I'm doing it right now. I don't know. I don't even understand exactly how it works, but it's like calming. It's kind of like giving yourself a hug, I
Mhm.
find. So
Mhm.
it's another like little thing. Like I think a lot of people would think that's why would you do that? That's not doing anything. That's so silly. That's like kind of like new age, kind of like nonsense. But just try. I just invite people to try it and
Right.
it might
Yes.
help you.
Yeah, I would like to do that, to invite everyone right now who is watching us to try that, to really sense, your hand on your chest. Better if it is on the left hand side on your heart, where your heart is located, right?
Okay.
Mm.
Right,
And
yeah.
and see if you can feel your heartbeat, you know, if you can feel it. Mhm. And then feeling the warmth of the hand of your hand. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. And it's interesting that you're saying there is new age, because there is already a study showing that when we do that, there is a strong connection. A connection is established between the brain and the heart
Oh, okay.
when we do that. So I'll bring it for next time with more clarity where my source is of that piece of study of this app
Interesting.
that
Yeah,
we
it'd
are.
be interesting to learn about why it works. So yeah, maybe we could talk about that next time.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
I guess
And
it's a good time to
what is
wrap.
your experience? What is
Oh,
your experience now? And then we start wrapping up.
yeah, yeah. I think it slowed my mind down and it made me more present.
Mhm.
I could feel my heartbeat. Like I'm not typically thinking about my heart, so it kind of gave me insight into the state of my heart, I suppose, which kind of reflects your state in general. Like if your heart rate is fast, you're probably, either excited or potentially stressed. And I think it may be slowing my heart rate actually just by focusing on it.
Focusing on it. That's great. Yeah,
How
for
about
me,
you?
uh-huh.
How about you? Like, what do you think?
For me, it was like I had a deep breath, like yeah, like in the way I perceive it is more connected with me and more connected with you. Mhm.
Oh, okay.
It's about connection for me. It
Mm,
was. Yeah.
nice.
Thank you. Thank you for asking. Mhm.
Yeah, so yeah, maybe we could talk more about that next time and people listening can experiment with that themselves if they feel like it.
Do you feel like it? Exactly.
Yeah, so I
Well,
guess
so thank you so much for our podcast today, Danny, for creating this space. I
thank
really
you, Deanna.
appreciate it, and everybody who is here with us. Thank you for
Okay,
taking time.
thank you. And yeah, have a great week and see you next week.
See you next week. Okay,
Yeah.
bye bye.